for a better tomorrow.
Why fire up the grill when you can kick back this Labor Day? Introducing the Labor Day Lazy Feast from your hometown favorite, Outpost Smokehouse and News Talk 1250 KBRF. Head over to KBRFradio.com, then go to the contest tab to enter now for your chance to feast the lazy way this Labor Day. A fully loaded holiday feast worth $500. Ribs, brisket, savory sides delivered straight to your door. The Labor Day Lazy Feast brought to you by Outpost Smokehouse and News Talk 1250 KBRF. Leighton Media of Fergus Falls is looking to add an energetic, driven, detail-oriented individual to our company. The role of sales and marketing coordinator allows you to be the essential piece in our organization, connecting our on-air and sales departments as well as our company with our community. This position is full of variety, and it will be a challenge to find any one day exactly like the last. To apply for the sales and marketing coordinator position, go to Leighton.media. Again, apply at Leighton.media. Your success starts here.
It's Morning Talk on News Talk 1250 KBRF, brought to you by Pioneer Care and Fergus Falls Monument Company. Now, here's Mary Dolan and Dave Bishop.
Good Tuesday morning. It is the 71 right now in Fergus Falls at 9:10. Hoping everybody's having a great start to your day. How's it going, Mary?
Well, it is a good start. It's absolutely beautiful out there.
And most of the storms missed us.
Yes. Did they stay south of us?
Yeah.
Okay. Boy, it looked a little grim there last night for a bit.
There was a lot of lightning in the area.
Tons of lightning, yeah.
But, yeah, all the severe stuff, I think Grant County was the closest one that went severe, and that was for a short time. But Roberts and Traverse County kept going severe, Stevens County, Douglas County.
Wow.
Polk County. So
do we know if they got any bad weather?
They got some. I mean, yeah. not a lot. There, I didn't hear any reports of tornadoes, at least none that I've heard yet. So,
okay. But the Watertown area, what was that on?
A couple days ago.
Yeah, Sunday maybe?
Tornadoes.
Remember. Yeah, boy, they got hit hard.
Yeah.
So anyway, yeah, we skirted that last night. But I tell you what, as soon as I got home, I jumped out of the car and I changed clothes as fast as I could and grabbed the mower because I thought, boy, it looks like it's going to rain. I'm going to get this done before the rain comes in. It was thundering and lightning, but nothing ever came. So the lawn got mowed. So good news.
Yeah, we had a little bit of light rain here. It's a lot of lightning, though.
Okay, yeah, a lot of lightning.
I mean, it seemed like a lot of lightning hit around us, but it's like, looking at the radar, I'm like, everything's way south.
Yeah, yeah. So, well, I guess we got lucky last night. And especially you, who has to come in and
yeah, I stayed here till 6 o'clock last night just because I'm like, I'm not going to leave and then turn around and come back.
It did really look menacing about that time. So, well, here we are on a Tuesday, everybody. You got through Monday, and I don't know about you, but Monday nights I'm hatched.
Yeah.
I think I was in bed before 9 o'clock last night.
I wish I was in bed at 9 o'clock.
Oh my goodness, I don't know what got to me. But I think heat and humidity gets to you too. You know, I think that's tiring. And anyway, went just down a couple of cabins, joined some neighbors for dinner last night. Oh my goodness, they made the best thing. They call them Monterey's. So it's a version of a taco. It's actually a version of a tostada, I think. Okay, so what they do is they take a flour tortilla, and they were the small ones, you know, the
6 inches.
Okay, and they fry them in butter-flavored Crisco.
Okay.
And I don't know, and you have to turn them. Anyway, they become this 6-inch round of sheer goodness. It's like a fabulous tasting tortilla chip, if you will, but they get kind of thick. It's they turn out like they're almost breaded because they puff up.
Yep.
And then on top of that, they put a layer of refried beans, and then topped it like a taco.
Sounds like a Mexican pizza.
Yeah, I don't know. They call it a Monterey just because it is flat and it's deep fried.
Okay.
And then you keep the shells warm, you know, until it's time to eat. But man, that crunchy shell was good.
But like if you go to Taco Bell or even Taco John's back in the day, that's what their taco pizzas were.
Okay, I'd never had one of those.
Yep. They're good.
Anyway, I forget where they tasted this for the first time, and it was referred to them as a Monterey, and making it different than a tostada because I don't think those are deep fried, those shells.
No, but
Not usually.
they're wrapped normally.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, this was so good.
Mm-hmm.
And you
Sounds
know,
good.
well, there's nothing like a taco. I mean,
Everybody
you can't go
loves
wrong.
tacos.
Plus, they had all the right stuff to put on top of it, and I don't know where they got these refried beans, but that was kind of the, well, it was the shell that was the real winner for me. I mean, who doesn't love anything that you deep fry, right? And especially in butter flavor Crisco. So anyway, that was really good, something a little bit different, so that was fun. And yeah, so that's where I had dinner last night.
Nice.
Yeah.
Before we get too much into the national
Okay.
news, a couple of local things I want to go over. Junius Avenue over by Courthouse Police Station, Holiday Gas Station, that is now closed. They are going to be repairing that. It's going to be repaired from Union to Cascade. So again, that is closed. So that might interrupt if you're like used to crossing that, get ready to not be able to do that.
Right.
But they are.
That's how I get to the drive up for my bank. So I'm going to have to go a different way.
You're going to have to go a different way. And then.
I tell you what, I don't know if it's my fault or clearly it's because it's summer, but oh my goodness, wherever I go.
Road construction.
Oh my goodness. And Pelican keeps pushing their construction further and further and further out.
Mm-hmm.
So now I have to go a completely different way. Yeah. So I have to leave about 10 minutes earlier than normal.
Yep.
Just to get here even close to on time. And then in case I run into there's a lot of trucks and stuff, because all of the gravel or sand or whatever it is they're using comes from just north of, not quite to Elizabeth. But anyway, before you get to the interstate. And so that's where they're hauling it all. So if you get behind those trucks, it can really slow you down too. So
the other thing I want to mention is it was announced yesterday that the theater is sold.
Oh.
They sold it to a family out of Wadena who's owned and operated movie theaters for over 100 years. So a little bit more local ownership of the movie theater. It'll be open regular hours today and then closed tomorrow and Thursday. And I do believe it's supposed to reopen on Friday under the new ownership. So
okay. Now, is that the only thing? I mean, unless you count Dunham's, is that the only thing left in the mall?
Oh, no. You got the theater, you got Dunham's, you've got Harbor Freight, you've got Dollar General.
So are those all considered?
They're separate. No, they're all technically considered separate entities.
Yeah, well, that's what I thought.
Yeah.
But in the mall itself, what we knew as the mall, really the theater, the only thing left, right?
Yeah, because even that's kind of disconnected from the mall.
Sure. Okay.
But oh man, I was in there to watch the Fantastic Four, and it smells. It really does.
You know what? I have heard that from so many people that I just thought, well, that I don't need to sit in 2.5 hours of like it's moldy.
Yeah, you kind of get that mildew smell, and it's coming from the mall itself.
I bet. I'm sure it is. So, well, anyway, I'm glad to see a more local owner coming our way, and I'm sure they'll do nice things and spruce it up a little bit. So, yeah, good deal. All right. Well, the president, he is on the road. He has been at one of his fabulous golf places, but he did some work while he was on the road too. Anyway, he expressed concern over the dire situation in Gaza. Now, he met with leaders of the UK, and that's when he said, I've seen the faces, I've seen real starvation. And Netanyahu from Israel is saying there is no starvation in Gaza. And, if you see the faces of those children, yeah. And even President Trump said, I've seen real starvation on faces from children in Gaza. And he said, those are things that you can't fake.
Yeah.
And so he is planning for the U.S. to set up food centers in the region. His remarks come as Israel faces mounting pressure to ease restrictions on aid, with global outrage, just growing and increasing because of, continual deaths from malnutrition during the military offensive. So,
plus, I mean, if Gaza wants to solve this, hand over the rest of the hostages.
yeah, and there's, what do they say, about 20 left? And I suppose, and this is what the president said too, that they don't want to give up those last 20 because that is the only kind of leverage that they have left.
But with those 20, there's no way Israel's going to stop.
No, it kind of doesn't feel like it.
No,
but
so
it sounds like our president is getting plenty annoyed with Netanyahu.
I think he's annoyed with it. I think he flips a coin who he's annoyed with
who
each
who
week.
should I be mad at today? President Trump also announced a shortened deadline for Russia's Vladimir Putin. Not happy with him either.
Another flip a coin.
Yep, to agree to a ceasefire with Ukraine during a meeting with the UK. I think that happened yesterday. Prime Minister in Scotland, he said the previous 50-day deadline was reduced to 10 to 12 days due to a lack of progress in negotiations. So basically, he's saying, Putin is just...
This ain't going to come to anything, so we're just, instead of giving them 50 days, we're just going to give them 10.
We're going to give him 10 or 12, and that's it. Anyway, authorities believe that most of the victims were not targeted, but were caught... I jumped a story there for a sec. 10 to 12 days due to that lack of progress. And Trump expressed disappointment in Putin's actions, citing, of course, his ongoing bombings in Ukrainian cities. They had another senseless act in New York City.
Yep.
A gunman walks into an office building, which, by the way, and there may be a connection, there may not be, but it is the front office of the NFL. Anyway, it's in Midtown Manhattan, and some guy walks in with an assault-style rifle. And you can see him walking in, and you can see him holding the rifle.
Yep.
About 6:15 last night, just as everyone's kind of getting ready to leave the office, and there was an NYPD officer who was off duty, but he was picking up some extra hours as security officer, and he's the first guy that got shot and killed, sadly. I think there were 4 victims that lost their lives.
Yep.
And then the guy turned the gun on himself, of course. So early findings are that he left some kind of note. He said that he was suffering from a mental illness, and he is blaming it on the concussions that he had while playing football. Now, he had nothing to do with the NFL, but don't know if he was just in a crazy place and mad at the NFL just because of the football-related injuries that may have led to, the crisis that he found himself in. So, lots of questions to be answered here, but wow, another senseless shooting. Police in Atlanta are investigating a mass shooting that occurred in the city's Sweet Auburn neighborhood. The incident resulted in the death of a 27-year-old man. Additionally, 10 individuals were injured, with an 18-year-old male in critical condition. Authorities believe that most of the victims were not targeted, but they were caught in crossfire. So, Anyway, a co-pilot arrested at San Francisco International Airport after Delta Flight 2809 from Minneapolis landed. Passengers witnessed about 10 federal agents boarding the plane and removing the co-pilot. Witnesses described the scene as shocking and traumatic, with the remaining pilot and flight crew appearing stunned. The reason for the co-pilot's arrest remains undisclosed. And at that point, you're pretty darn glad you're on the ground, right?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, well, anyway. Also, another story that I read earlier today, and I apologize because I don't have that with me, but it was the Republican candidate that is running for governor of Minnesota. I can't even off the top of my head.
Is it Jensen or
nope,
is it
the other guy? Anyway, I'll come up with it, or maybe you can look it up while I'm talking about this. But I like this guy. I think Ox has had him on the air.
Yeah, several times.
Yeah, and he does a great interview. And anyway, he is calling for wanting to see. He wants to disclose the Minnesota voter registration. And he wants that to be transparent. He thinks everyone should know who is registered to vote and if, in fact, they are all legal to do so.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah, I like that, too.
Kendall Qualls.
Kendall Qualls. I don't know why I can't remember his name. Anyway, I like this guy so far, and I know very little about him, of course. But first, seeing him interviewed and hearing him interviewed, I heard him on Knox at least 2 times. And I've heard interviews other places, and I like what he has to say. I like that he's young and energetic. I think honestly he has a better shot than Dr. Scott Jensen.
Yeah.
And I like Dr. Scott Jensen. I love everything he stands for. I just don't think he's got the chutzpah that people are looking for.
Yeah.
I think he's a little too mild-mannered. I just don't know if he's got what it takes outside of name recognition to make his mark.
And the other interesting thing is I haven't heard if he's going to run yet because, I mean, you got to remember we're still over a year from the election.
We are.
Tom Emmer was another name that's been tossed around as running against Walz on the Republican side. And obviously, the majority whip in the House of Representatives.
Right. So there's a name everyone recognizes, and that sure helps. What do you think are the Republicans' chances of ever winning the governorship in Minnesota? I know. And
I mean, if they couldn't beat Walz last time, that was like the easiest way to beat him is after COVID and his little I'm King of Minnesota stint.
Yeah, although I think if you can recall that, and you can add to it all of the lies that were outed during his run as the vice presidential candidate, I think if you can put those things together, he is not your guy. I think they made him look like a knucklehead, and he was just. There are so many lies. And if you just look at the state of Minnesota. And the state that we are in, $18 billion in deficit. And do you know that $1 billion of that, with a B, is fraud, all fraud. So somebody's got to clean it up.
Yep.
We need a Mayor Giuliani kind of a guy in his day. What he did to New York City
before he became
we need him in his early days. And maybe this Qualls is that guy. I don't know. Coming up on 9:30, break for the markets, and we're back with more on Morning Talk.
Back with more Morning Talk with Mary Dolan and Dave Bishop. Brought to you by Pioneer Care and Fergus Falls Monument Company. After the markets on News Talk 1250 KBRF. Depend on it.
There's lots of gear to help you fish, but make sure you pack your guides in your tackle box. Listen to Todd and Phil from PT's Guide Service during Gone Fishin', presented by Frontier Marine and Power Sports. Gone Fishin' helps you land more fish by letting you know the techniques that are working on area lakes. Listen in as PT's Guide Service shares a boatload of experience. Gone Fishin' can be heard right here every Friday afternoon at 5:25, presented by Frontier Marine and Power Sports. Listen in this Friday and let people know you've gone fishing.
Struggling with employee illness or injury? Minnesota Retain can help reduce turnover and boost productivity with return to work services. Learn more at mnretain.com. The contents of this ad were developed under Grant H421F240147 from the U.S. Department of Education. The department does not mandate or prescribe practices, models, or any other activities described or discussed in this ad. Paid for by Minnesota Retain. Aired by the Minnesota Broadcasters Association and this station.
Layton Media has an amazing opportunity to add a media consultant to our Fergus Falls team. If you have energy, integrity, and a passion to talk to people, you might be the perfect fit. We want someone that is not only a go-getter, but a team player who's eager to be part of a successful, supportive team. If you're ready to make an impact with the businesses we work with, we want to hear from you. Apply today at Layton.media and become part of a team that values community, integrity, and growth. That's Layton.media to apply. Your success starts here.
What does life on the cutting edge mean to Riley LaPinka?
Making hay has changed so much now with Harvextra alfalfa. You don't have to be tied down to a certain cutting window. That saves us a lot of headache, a lot of cost, wear and tear on machinery, you name it. It just cuts all that down.
Harvextra alfalfa with Roundup Ready technology gives you an extra edge when it comes to cutting flexibility. Hear more of Riley's story at harvextra.com.
Find out why the markets are moving. Get in-depth ag information with the Red River Farm Network on News Talk 1250 KBRF. Depend on it.
Good morning. Market update time here on the Red River Farm Network. I'm Tyler Donaldson. Grains starting out the day's trade a bit lower than ending it yesterday. Trading mixed here as well. Walsh Trading market analyst Jeff Fossey says the one upside in the grains today so far is soybeans. They're seeing some upside thanks to the oil market.
I think soybeans are getting a little bit of a pull up from soybean oil. That's the one market here in the grain markets that certainly has some bullish fundamentals behind it, I think. When they redid the biofuel mandates, of course, bean oil jumped aggressively here in the middle of June and two trading sessions, retraced a little bit, and it's now resumed kind of working its way up. It's not making huge leaps and bounds, but it does have a nice bullish pull on it. That's the one thing and across the grains that I think is pretty friendly right now.
The cattle market's seeing a slight pullback today, despite Fossey saying demand remaining strong.
Just kind of backing and filling a little bit. That's my kind of take on it. The inventory numbers, the cattle on feed number. I mean, cattle on feed's the lowest since, 2017. The inventory here for the July 1st numbers, that's the lowest we've ever had. Now, records only go back to like the early 70s with that, but we still have less beef. We still have greater population. We still have very strong demand for it. The initial reaction to the reports here yesterday, when, of course, they came out Friday after the close, when we were able to trade here on Monday, fat cattle October finished up $1.62. They weren't really able to extend their gains, but they had a little bit of an equilibrium gain.
Reporting agriculture's business, you are listening to the Red River Farm Network. CHS Ag Services. Certified Energy Specialist Isaac Duran's with us. Isaac, we're moving into harvest season now. What should people be aware of as far as their energy needs from CHS?
Biggest thing going into harvest here, coming up fast, making sure that all your tanks are full, whether that's your fuel tanks, oil tanks, DEF tanks, and even propane tanks. Making sure you got everything that you might need in a pinch, getting everything full. Best way you can keep your fuel tanks full this harvest season here is through our AFD program. Get your fuel when you need it. Tanks always stay full, and you get billed monthly on the average price. No monthly fee. You don't got to pay anything for the monitor. We pay for the monitor, stick it in your tank, and you just pay for the fuel you use each month at the average price.
CHS Ag Services, with 20 locations in Northeast North Dakota and Northwest Minnesota. CHS Ag Services, providing solutions for your success.
More than 200 members of Congress are standing up for AM radio listeners. The AM Radio for Every Vehicle Act will keep AM radio in cars, because when cell and internet services are down, this free service could be your only lifeline. Text AM to 39179. Tell Congress to pass this critical legislation now.
Message and data rates may apply. You may receive up to 4 messages a month, and you may text STOP to stop.
This message furnished by the National Association of Broadcasters.
Harvest Hotline brings you daily updates with farmers, custom harvesters, elevator managers, and more. Get the latest on harvest progress, yields, and what's happening in the field. Harvest Hotline can be heard weekdays at 12:37 during Agriculture Today. Harvest Hotline brought to you by Ag Country Farm Credit Services, Amity Technology, North Dakota Mill, and U.S. Custom Harvesters. We're the Red River Farm Network, reporting agriculture's business.
Checking quotes for you here. September wheat Minneapolis down 2.5 to 5.79. Chicago September wheat's down 8 1/4 at 5.30 1/4. Kansas City September hard red winter wheat down 5 3/4 to 5.20 1/4. September corn's at 3.88 1/4, down 5.5 cents. September soybeans even so far at 9.92 1/4. In November canola in Winnipeg up $6.70 per metric ton to 702.50 Canadian. August live cattle down 2.5 cents, 227.62. August feeders even at 333.52, and October hogs down $1.90 at 88.97. This is the Red River Farm Network.
Today on Hot Talk with the Ox, right away, well, are we going to war with Russia? Sounds like it, as Trump upped the deadline against Putin. Then the Park Tavern drunk driver killer guy was sentenced Monday. What do you think? At 4:06, hear what wine Jeff has picked out on the Westside Liquor Wine Line. Then hear fellow Ox listeners' Wines of the Week. See you for Hot Talk with the Ox today from 2 to 5 on News Talk 1250 KBRF.
What's the Ox say?
Wherever you're going, we're going to the Otter Express.
Did you know Otter Express offers preschool transportation? Sign up now at otterexpress.com and submit by August 1st. Hurry, seats are limited, so don't delay.
We're available to all 998-3002. Just give us a call. Wherever you're going, we're going to the Otter Express.
I'm Derek Sidian with KBRFradio.com News. Join me live every Friday on KBRFradio.com or the Fergus Now app for the weekly news recap, where I recap this week's hottest local news and you catch up on what you might have missed. The live stream starts at 12:30 and will be available to watch after the stream ends. The KBRFradio.com weekly news recap is brought to you by Fergus Falls Monument, online at foreverstonememorial.com, memorials that matter.
Local farmers. Lake Cabin Meat and Deli Company in Fergus Falls currently has open slots and accepting animals. They take the hassle out of processing and butchering your livestock. From custom cuts to expert butchering, they handle it all with care and precision. Serving Fergus Falls of the Lakes area, they're proud to support local farmers like you. Call or visit Lake Cabin Meat and Deli Company today to schedule your meat processing. Lake Cabin Meat and Deli Company, where quality meets tradition, on Highway 210 East.
The Otter Tail County Sheriff's Posse wants you. Serve with a dedicated volunteer citizens group assisting law enforcement for search and rescue, natural disasters, and missing persons. On horseback, motorized vehicles, or foot patrol, they provide any assistance needed. Training and equipment are provided. Join the posse now and be a part of something special in Otter Tail County. Find them on Facebook or contact the Sheriff's Department for more information.
There's lots of gear to help you fish, but make sure you pack your guides in your tackle box. Listen to Todd and Phil from PT's Guide Service during Gone Fishing, presented by Frontier Marine and Power Sports. Gone Fishing helps you land more fish by letting you know the techniques that are working on area lakes. Listen in as PT's Guide Service shares a boatload of experience. Gone Fishing can be heard right here every Friday afternoon at 5:25, presented by Frontier Marine and Power Sports. Listen in this Friday and let people know you've gone fishing.
Summer weather can change quickly, and that's why you can count on News Talk 1250 KBRF and the Fergus Now app for up-to-date weather coverage. We love hearing from you and want to see your severe weather photos, whether it's hail, storm damage, threatening clouds, whatever it might be. To submit your summer severe weather photos, go to KBRFradio.com, then to Weather Spotter page located on the Weather tab. Summer severe weather coverage on News Talk 1250 KBRF.
Newstalk 1250 KBRF. Time, any place with the Fergus Now app on your phone. Seeing some patchy fog. Most of that has moved off, as we'll see 80 for our high today. 62 for tonight's low. More Canadian smoke tomorrow, and 77, 75. Sunny Thursday, 76 on Friday, 75 on Saturday. Right now, fair skies and 73. Winds on the northeast at 5. This is Newstalk 1250 KBRF.
All right. Well, back on the show, and I know, Dave, you will find yourself to be one of these people. And one of these people that is busy, busy, busy all the time. And I just read an article during the break, and I read it yesterday, and I reread it just during the break. And the title is this: Running on Empty, Finding Rest When You're Worn Out. Now, I think I was going to say summer does that to us. Summer can be exhausting sometimes.
It can.
Because you try to fit in so many things. But I think it's around the clock. And the fatigue that we're feeling isn't just a personal issue. They say in this article that it's a symptom of our time. We live in a society that idolizes busyness and wears burnout like a badge of honor. And ask somebody how they're doing, and how many times do you either get the answer or answer yourself, "Oh, busy." That's how we answer.
I should have that tattooed on my forehead.
I know, because I do the same thing. And it's as though it says here that productivity equals worth. So the busier that you tell people you are, the bigger the badge of honor becomes that you can wear on your chest. We're told to hustle, achieve, and build our identities from the ground up. We become our own makers and our own validators. And at the end, there's a line that I love. It says this, it's Anne Lamott who coined this phrase: almost everything will work again if you unplug it, including yourself.
I like that.
I do too. So unplug. You hear me say it on a Monday that I've unplugged over the weekend. And I'm sort of intentional about that. I really try to do that. And it's not easy. But we do need to unplug. And here's what I find myself doing, not so much now at this age as I did when I was maybe in my 40s. When work was different, I think we had to work harder because we didn't have all this technology that helped us do things so fast and, immediately. And you could answer questions, you can send an email, you can grab a text, you could do stuff so fast today. So I don't know if it was harder then, but I remember feeling busier then. And as I think back, if I would have taken all the time that I spent telling people just how busy I was, and if I would take that time for a little time away, unplugged time, I'd have been good.
Yeah.
But sometimes we do feel like we have to tell people, oh my gosh, I did this, and this. Oh, it's busy. And everyone's busy in their own way.
Yeah.
So I don't think we need to spell it out, but I think we do. So, but I love that. Almost everything works better if you unplug it, including yourself.
Mm-hmm.
So, if you can, even if it's for 10 or 15 minutes, put your phone away, just unplug.
Just don't do it if you're on life support.
Yeah, don't unplug then. Oh, boy. Well, here's a guy in British Columbia. A man successfully defended himself against a cougar attack.
Hit it with wine?
By punching the animal in the face. How about that?
That's what you have to do. Punch in the face, go for the eyes.
And I mean, if they're right there, I guess that's... I want to say, would you do that? But I guess you have to. The incident occurred near a logging road in the province. The man sustained minor injuries during the encounter. Conservation officers responded to the scene. They located the cougar, which was euthanized due to its aggressive behavior. Authorities reminded the public to remain vigilant when a cougar in cougar territory, and to take precautions to avoid encounters with wildlife. The man's quick thinking and actions likely saved him from much more severe injuries. The conservation officers recommended commended his bravery in fending off the cougar. That would be, but I'm sure he got surprised by it.
Yeah.
And punch him in the face, I guess. It's like a shark. Aren't you supposed to punch them in the face, too?
Punch them in the face, punch them in the eyes.
Yikes.
Once you injure their eye, they're gone.
Okay. Boy, that would be scary, wouldn't it? Holy smokes.
I remember I've only seen a cougar in the wild once, and that was when I was going deer hunting. And I'm getting ready to get out of my car, and it stood up in the long grass, looked at me, and walked away. And I'm just sitting there. I'm going, I'm just going to hang out in my car for a while.
So cougars close by?
Yeah, just north of town.
Wow. How often do we see them around here?
That one hung out, and it had a mate because I was on my buddy's property, and he lived there, and he said he heard them throughout the winter. And then
is that unusual? A little?
A little. They're normally a little bit further north, but it was just kind of a wandering cougar.
But we've seen more bear population kind of making their way south too.
Yeah.
So I don't know what the story is there, but I don't know. Better picnic baskets in Minnesota, southern Minnesota.
I was going to say Minnesota has the largest black bear population in the lower U.S.
Okay.
So there's a lot of bears.
Most of them stayed kind of north of us, but we're starting to see them.
But
kind of wander.
I've seen bears around here a couple times.
We have too. Yeah.
So obviously we
twice
had
at the lake.
We had the golf course bear not that long ago.
Right. Okay. Here. Well, I was going to say maybe I don't know if you've done this, and you're sort of forced to. Here's how the headline reads: Study finds that men stick to the same hairstyle for over a decade.
Oh, I believe it.
And of course, when you lose your hair, you're sort of forced.
Yeah, you got two options. You can either trim it or shave it.
Yeah, or you can scoop what you've got over the top.
Oh, if I did that, Jen would kill me.
Oh my goodness! Do you know there are a lot of guys? There's a lot of men who do that.
It was funny though because when we first started dating, I always left it a little bit longer on the top, and Jim, like, are you trying to comb over? I'm like, no, I just let it go where it goes.
Yeah.
She's like, don't. And I'm like, I'm not trying. It's just there.
That's funny. Anyway, they say that the average male has maintained the same hairstyle for over 10 years. And you know what? To some degree, I think... Were you just showing your hairstyle?
Showing the hairstyle to the camera. If you guys aren't watching the video stream of this, you guys are missing out.
Yeah, for sure. And I don't have a monitor, so I can't see what's on camera, but I assumed you were showing your bald head. But anyway, and I could be in this camp. I've had the same hairstyle forever just because I've got really thin, yucky hair, and I can't wear it long. So I got to keep it short. But anyway, they're saying that guys just say, this is it. They solidified their cut at age 31, and they're not going anywhere.
Yeah, back when I had hair, I used to do it upright. I used to it flowed. It was it was gorgeous.
Oh boy. So do you want to know what the styles are?
Bald.
Short back and sides.
That's kind of what I've got. I've got short sides, short back.
Buzz cuts, another one.
I had that when I was a kid.
Yeah. Those are the most common. Additionally, some sport what they call an alpaca back and sides. I don't even know what that is. That is a look particularly favored by 25 to 34-year-olds. I don't know what that is. Alpaca back and sides.
Well, let's go to the interwebs.
Well, alpacas, they're kind of fluffy-ish, aren't they? I don't know. We'll have to see. Common hairstyles of men, alpaca back and sides. I don't know what you'll find out there. Many men cited a lack of confidence and concern about others' opinions as reasons for not changing their hair. However, 23% said that they would likely to be trying the alpaca style.
Okay, alpaca, best way to describe it. Remember Patrick Mahomes?
Yeah,
where it was a little tight on the side, had the little poofy, fluffy stuff. That's the alpaca back.
Okay, all right. Anyway, while hair is the area they're least open to experimenting with, would consider a new look with a stylist's guidance.
Nope. I just go to my Justin's my barber.
Oh, that's funny.
Just a little off the top, Dave. Yep. And there we go.
Okay, one of my favorite hair stories, and I know I've told this before, but in case you've missed it, so we know someone who at the time had a young son, maybe 8, 10, 11, somewhere in there. And they both went in to get haircuts together. And back then, do you remember the skateboard hair? Skateboard was kind of, I don't know, kind of long on top.
Oh, where it just kind of float over the side?
Yeah, kind of bowlish cut, sort of.
Bowlish with it like dangling over your eyes?
Yeah.
Skater cut?
Yeah, skater cut, I think is what they called it. Well, anyway, so this 10 or 11-year-old boy, that's what he had. So he goes in and he sits down in the chair, gets his hair cut, and then the dad sits down and he says this, "I'll have the same."
Oh.
What he meant was the same hair he already had, the style, just shorter. But he said, "I'll have the same." And before he was out of the chair, he had that bowl cut skater hair. Yes, that one. Anyway, he told that story, and I thought that was one of the funniest ever. I don't know if he was not watching the mirror as the person was cutting, or didn't become concerned when the clipper came out and went all the way around his head. I don't know.
I always loved it because I had a couple friends back in like middle school that had that, and they'd sit there and puff up their hair with their lips and just like kind of blow air out, and then like shake their head.
I know. Hair is so funny. I think especially on, like high school guys.
Oh.
Because it's so important. And I get it. I get it. Everybody wants the hair they want, right? Yeah. But styles change so much, and now they've gone to a little bit longer, and a number of moms are in the stands complaining because their boys are always like this with their hands, putting their fingers through their hair.
Luke does that all the time.
To get the hair out of their eyes while they're playing a sport. And these moms are like, "Oh, for heaven's sake, stop it. You look ridiculous."
I had to.
So that is the fight. You got to cut your hair, and these moms are just, it's funny to be the grandma in all of this and then just sit back and of course, I always side with my grandson and say, "Oh, I love your long hair."
I had to laugh before I got my last haircut. It got really long in the back as well. That's where I have hair. And so I had a baseball hat on, and it had like bloomed out.
Oh.
It feathered and flowed, and Jen's like, that's the exact look Luke's going for. I'm like, really? He's going for this? And she's like, no, not that. With the hat on and your hair just poofing out.
Poofing out the back.
All feathery and stuff.
That is kind of the deal.
That's
right
how
now.
I knew I needed a haircut.
Yeah, well, yeah. If you left your hat on, everybody would think you were.
It looked just like all the cool kids.
Yeah, you'd look like the cool kids.
Then I take my hat off, and they're like, "Oh, what happened?" And I'm like, "I said the same thing."
Oh boy. All right. Do you remember the name Tyra Banks?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, she was a supermodel.
Oh yeah.
Also an entrepreneur.
Swimsuit model.
Yep, and she is taking a proactive approach. I find this really ironic, or I don't know if that's the right word or not. Taking a proactive approach to managing her son, York, his name is, his video game habits. After her significant other introduced popular titles like Roblox and Minecraft into their home, their 9-year-old boy became what she referred to as addicted. So she's trying to keep him off social media, technology. So who does she go to for help? Her AI assistant.
Of course.
I think that's funny. But anyway, so it suggested creating a contract to set boundaries around his video game usage, including limiting the days and hours he can play. And just in case you don't know, Tyra, you can actually do that to your kid's phone so they can't use it.
Yeah, I was going to say there's something called parental controls.
You don't need a contract. But anyway, though Banks said her son signed the contract, she admitted it has been challenging to consistently enforce the rules given her busy work schedule. Oh, she needs to unplug too. Her parenting strategy was discussed during her guest hosting stint on the Today Show, where she sought advice from a child development expert. Maybe she should just use the parental controls, and then the kid has to say, Mom, I can't use my phone. Can you grant me some more time?
There we go.
To which she could reply, no.
Read the contract.
Oh, boy. Okay, here's one of those Guinness World Records that, who thinks of this? There is a California woman, and we can say only in California. She sets a Guinness World Record by putting 711 golf tees in her hair.
Why?
Yeah. It took her 47 minutes to do it. 711 small wooden pegs. She said, I've always dreamed of being a Guinness World Records holder. That's totally been a dream of mine. I think she needs to dream a little bigger. I wanted to create something around the golf world and thought this would be a great idea. And the reason she holds the record is because there isn't one.
So 5
until
were
now.
done in it.
So the record was inspired by a serial record breaker known for his beard feats. Anyway, she thinks that this guy is the GOAT of the beard records, and she thought this would be fun to poke 711 golf tees into her hair.
Somebody who needs a hobby.
Wow, and just think how long it would take to get them all out of there.
Trying to figure out how many cats she has.
Yeah. All right, and I do have a feel-good for you today. Brennan Jones, known for his Haircuts for the Homeless mission, has received a surprise of his own. Sean Johnson, impressed by Jones's work, offered him a storefront in Olney, Philadelphia. Johnson, the owner of Taper's Barbershop, purchased the space and renovated it specifically for Mr. Jones to run his barbershop. The grand opening is scheduled for November 12th, where Jones will continue his mission to provide haircuts and meals to the homeless. Additionally, special discount days will be available for college students and public sector employees.
Nice.
Jones expressed gratitude for the unexpected opportunity, while Johnson looks forward to seeing Jones progress in his new venture. So
I like that.
That's awfully nice. Yeah. Help others, right?
Yeah.
All right. Coming up on 10 o'clock, that is going to wrap up a Tuesday. Thanks for joining us. Our show today and every day brought to us by Pioneer Care and by Fergus Falls Monument Company. Have a great day.